Integrity. That's called courage.
Free up your mind, use your imagination.
All you need to know is I'll get you there.
Learning.
Now that's the stuff leaders should be made of.
Welcome to the Open House podcast. Our guests are our students, opinionated, daring, and ridiculously smart. They ask tough questions about life and about learning. This podcast is by them and for them. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us for what is, I think, now the 11th episode of the Open House podcast. David Perel wrote a small note about meme culture, and he said memes let Gen Z communicate empathy. Gen Z can come together by liking and sharing memes. Memes are everywhere. Very often, it is through memes that we find out about things that are happening in the world. If I take a very recent example, we saw memes on Meghan Markle's interview with Oprah before the interview itself was aired. In open house classrooms, we've also used memes for learning. Can you express an academic concept or a formula in the form of a meme? Our answer is that definitely yes. So our theme today is meme culture, and we have a very, very interesting panel of speakers. We have Kyle Fernandez as our guest speaker, who is the CEO of Meme Chat, an app for meme makers. He also started Shit Indians Say, a meme page, about 5 years ago. And there is more to his name, and I'll let Kyle introduce himself later. Shrikrit is going to be in class 12 at St. Xavier's Collegiate School in Calcutta. He enjoys swimming and cricket and is one of the few people who loves math. Shrikrit, I'm giving you company in that category. But thank you so much, guys, for joining us for this episode. My first question is actually pretty simple. Why do we love memes so much? What is it that makes them so appealing?
If the thing about memes and why it's relatable, it's because you realize that you're not the only sad person in the world out there. you know if you can relate, it's all about relatability. People, you think that you are in a situation, but then you see a meme on it, it's relatable, and you're like, oh shit, yeah, this is like so relatable. And you realize that there's so many other people having the same experience, and that really forms like a bond with either a page, or maybe a page, or that piece of content, right? That it's relatable, and when it's relatable, you really feel elevated in that sense. So that is one of the main reasons I feel memes go viral and are shared so often, because they're highly, highly relatable. Like the most weird things, right? For example, you have your mom putting in needles and the sewing kit in a biscuit box, right? Which is, you would think that only happens in your house, but happens everywhere, right? Or something that or something that as simple as something that you do, probably you think that you are the only one who does, but then you see a meme on it and you realize that so many other people are doing. And that just varies for every kind of topic that there is out there.
I can immediately think of, you said mom and sewing kit, and I thought of moms obsessing about dabbas and tiffins, and you forgetting one, and that's where my mind went,
Yeah,
actually.
for sure. I think that is one of the key things about memes. They have to be highly, highly relatable. If they're not relatable, they're not funny, right? Relatability is key for memes.
What about you, Shrikrit and Arman? What do you think?
I think memes are absolutely a different way to like converse with your friends and everyone. It's like altogether a different language that you converse in. Because like it describes a situation so perfectly, so perfectly. Like I don't think words will ever be able to do that.
Wow, that's interesting. So, is meme culture like just about humor? Do we enjoy them just because they are funny? Uh, or do we like it because somewhere we express the truth through memes?
I think that is that is a very valid point, because it's not all the time it's funny. The fact that someone put a very, could be a sad, relatable, sad topic in the form of a meme to probably express something that is very alarming or concerning, can sometimes be, is also a meme. It is a meme, but uh, it can definitely depict various things in terms of it doesn't always have to be funny. Like there could be memes on, something that's really disturbing that's happening, let's say unemployment. There could be memes on something, let's say, that is something of a global nature, right? Let's say, like Trump and the Biden feud was a massive, it was memed massively. And to think about it, it was a serious topic. It was, pretty serious for the Americans, for sure. But people were making memes, not only because the entire thing was funny, but also to put across a point. You know, it was to put across their points of view. Because if you want to put across a point of view and you want to reach to a massive audience, and Gen Zs and millennials are the best massive audience to reach out to, because then they'll share it with their parents, or they'll share it with other people, and when they share, the reach definitely increases. And so people can put various things in the form of memes, and especially as a meme company, our focus is trying to put brands within memes, trying to put various topics that we can find within memes, because our entire concept, our entire app is based on memes, right? So for us, memes is not just a joke. It is a very broad spectrum. It's education, it is political, it is general knowledge, news, everything through memes.
What about you guys, Shrikrit and Arman? Do you think it's just about like a meme being funny?
No, like less funny or more informative or more connectable. Like funny is not the main reason that you use memes or you see memes, but more so because you can connect with the memes. They describe your situation in an absolutely perfect way. Like just one picture with a line on it can describe your situation so well. So that's why memes are like so popular amongst all of us today.
I think the visual element of memes, that is like one of the key things, that is so short, so crisp, and it's so visually appealing that the thing is, probably it does not describe too much, but it just describes exactly what needs to be said. It's like, you don't have to say too much. You just have to say one thing, and it's like it's sorted. Like, it's understood by people. You don't need to have a 2-page long paragraph on essay to describe the topic. You know the thing, I know the thing, no bullshitting, this is what it is. And that is just the meme right there.
So that instant click.
Yeah.
What is then the creative process of making a meme? We were discussing this right now just before the podcast. What the creative process would be?
I think to create memes or think about what memes can be, you go like what you like doing and you find out in that topic certain funny things that you do. Knowingly you do them, they are funny, but like still you keep doing it. Like for example, we made this meme on physics about the value of acceleration due to gravity. Like some people say it's 9.8, some say it's 10, but when you don't give it, everybody is confused. Like, should I use 9.8? Should I use 10? So that way, like we made one meme out of this. So that way, like you choose a topic that and then you find out funny things in it. Truthfully, every topic has something like this. There is no topic that does not have something funny or something connectable in it. So that's basically how you choose meme topics.
Yeah.
So there definitely is a creative process, and I think my answer is going to be very in terms of. So I don't know if I can go very technical on this, but because our job is to make the creative process, understand the creative process of memes, and automate the process. So essentially what we do is this, that and this I'm talking about not just humans creating memes, I'm talking about machines creating memes. I'm talking about how do we automate the process at a large scale. You really understand the various kind of things that people make memes on. You understand all those memes. Once you find those memes, you have meme templates. As you would know, there are multiple meme templates. You group memes on meme templates, and you understand what the meme template signifies, right? Some meme template could signify by saying, get out of the room, or a meme template could signify a blank expression. So once you have this thing in place, you have this data. What we then tend to do is we try to create more languages or more captions and more content around that same behavior so that we can replicate the process on large scale. And the thing is, that has to be very relatable to people. So, for example, if I am creating a meme, let's say on doctors, right? Uh, the meme is not going to be found funny by Arman or Shikrit or you. It's going to be funny to doctors, right? So your target audience for who you are creating the meme for needs to be very much aligned. So if you are creating a meme just for your WhatsApp group, your WhatsApp friends, it has to be about the class trip you all went for. It has to be about, something like you all did together, and, understand that chemistry, amongst yourselves. But if you're creating to a larger audience, it really, really depends on the kind of audience you are making the meme for. It has to resonate with what they do in their behavior of what they do. And I
So
think
then the
that,
most important question would be, who is it for?
yeah, it's for everybody. It is for everybody. Memes can be made for everybody. It can be made for our parents. It can be made for our grandparents. It can be made for anybody, but just you need to be relatable. You need to relate to them. And if you're not able to relate to them, that is why they don't use it. So this is one of the, so after a lot of research, we kind of found out, why parents don't understand the concept of memes, or, not as much, especially Indian parents, right? Many do, but most don't. It's because, they don't have their generation meme creators. If they had their generation meme creators creating memes for what they found relatable, probably they would be into memes as well, you know. So it's just bridging that gap, bridging the gap of, their age group, their mindset, what they find relatable, and, creating content on that. Because, Shrikrit and Arman can create content on, let's say, 12th physics or 12th chemistry, right? And people who are doing 12th physics and 12th chemistry probably find that funny. People who passed out of 12th physics and 12th chemistry will also probably find that funny. But then it's not too funny for a person who's not done it, right? It's not too funny for a commerce student. It's not too funny for, so it really depends. So memes are for everybody. Memes are definitely for everybody. It really depends on who it is intended for, and if the right intended person is definitely seeing the meme or not.
Kyle said that, hey, Indian parents don't get memes and they don't really share memes. Is that true? Do you find that your parents just don't understand this concept of memes?
My mom maybe understands the memes a little bit, but my dad doesn't understand memes that much. He doesn't like generally see or share memes. But my mom, I show her a few memes sometimes that, I think maybe she'll find relatable. So that she finds, she understands them pretty well.
Yeah. maybe the dad groups and the mom groups like have their own meme culture, and we just don't know what's going on over there. But Shrikrit and Aman, you also made memes like in the classroom for learning. Did you have fun doing that? That's like one. And did you ever think that you would make memes from, your syllabus? Did you ever imagine that you would do that?
So like that was definitely a lot of fun, because these were things that were like absolutely right in front of us, but we never noticed them. So like when you sat down, tried to search for them, you were like, wow, there are so many ideas over here. There are like so many relatable things over here. But like I never kind of imagined I would do this. Like, making memes out of your syllabus. Never thought about all this. We were like, this cannot happen.
Does it help in actually making learning more fun? Does it help in clearing the concept? Do making memes actually help in learning?
I definitely feel they can, because there's so many. It really depends on the creator, right? Because the thing is, the person who's creating the meme needs to know the physics concepts very well. He needs to understand the chemistry concepts also very well, and he also needs to be a memer at that, in the same sense, right? For example, like Shrikrit mentioned about the G being 9.8 and 10. It's very funny and relatable, because when you are lazy, you just want to put 10, right? Who wants to calculate 9.8, right? Armstrong number. I don't know I forgot what it was. 6.4 into 10 raised to minus 23, if I'm not wrong. I just take it as 6.4. I'm not going to pay 6.4232 into 10 raised power minus 23. I'm not going to do that. So, that is all that is very relatable. And people who do that, they know they are lazy and that's why they use 10. That's why they use that. And they will probably find this part also funny, right? And similarly for things like physics and stuff like that. I remember in physics there was this book called this. I don't know if you all would find it relatable. There was this book called Irodov, very complicated physics book, right? You probably won't find that funny because probably you have not done that book. Again, it's very 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 subjective, but on concepts of especially education, right? Like it can be made really 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 interesting. People for accounts and commerce, people doing the tally software, people doing understanding the tax deductions and the tax rates and this TDS, that all that calculations, they would find that interesting. Us science students would find the maths part interesting, Fourier transforms, those kind of things very interesting. And you can make it relatable. You can either make the concept relate to some other concept. For example, let's say covalent bonding and ionic bonding, things like that. Uh, do it with some sort of a relationship, or like anti-magnetism with some sort of a relationship of person, and or the bonding of some sort of a relationship. But it becomes funny in that sense. But then you can also put various other topics into that, and so it really depends on the creator, and he needs to be well versed with memes, and he has to have a strong knowledge of his domain.
What do you guys think? Do they help in learning?
If made properly, definitely they can help in learning. Like if the right person makes it, they can definitely help with your learning.
Yeah. But it's hard to find the kind of person, right, with the kind of sense of humor who has enough sense of humor that he understands his physics and chemistry concepts also very well. Because the people who have the physics chemistry concepts strong, they probably don't have time for internet culture.
Yeah.
Yes, that's true.
yeah. So that is definitely one thing. That is definitely one thing. But I feel I think it'd be very interesting to see if it can be used in something like edtech, and for sure I think it can be used. See if it could.
Kyle, your journey with memes started 5 years ago when you started Shit Indian Say. How have you seen meme culture change in the last 5 years?
For me, it's so I've been, you could say I've been viewing this thing from the other dimension. Like, so I'm actually seeing the entire thing evolve in the sense of a creator and the person who's trying to make these trends, right? I probably couldn't give the right answer of how I see the trend culture evolve in terms of trends. But what I've realized is, people's consumption pattern, content consumption pattern. I think that is one of the key things that has really, contributed to a significant impact of how people consume content. For example, attention spans are decreasing. People have they have abundant data, they have internet. They are using things. They used to use things like TikTok. I don't know. Do you all use TikTok, guys?
Well, now no one can use TikTok here.
I mean, there are multiple other cringe apps out there. Oh my God, these apps are so cringy. So, and these cringe apps, they have these weird videos, and people are making memes on those videos, and that is, so that it evolved into that, short videos and things like that. And people's attention spans, generally decrease. And the thing with Gen Zs and millennials, right? We are so random, we are so absurd that we will find just a glass that is condensing on a table funny. With the right caption, we will find that funny. We will find anything that is on the table, on the floor, anything that we can make sense of or comprehend or not comprehend, find it funny. And that is just so absurd and random. And the thing I realized was, the more absurd and random you can make things, the more trending it becomes. For example, there was this trend of this tractor, people, looking at this tractor called JCB Khudai. I don't know if you've heard of that trend. Just looking at a tractor, looking at thing, and you're finding that funny. I mean, and it is funny. It is funny if you think about it, right?
Yeah.
It's absurd. And we once made this trend on a cooler. It's just a cooler. It's just a photo of a cooler. That was funny. And it's funny, right? Because it's not about just the cooler. It's about the caption that goes along with it. It's about how people are just. And the best part is, right, it gives people joy in the mundane things of life. Because life is competitive as hell. People are facing their own battles, and this just makes you see your world in a very different perspective. And I think that is a very big contributor to why people like memes. It's just more happy. It's more relaxing that you are not on the same boat alone. There are other people with you on the same boat. So I think that is the very key thing about memes.
Last year, and Kyle, you wrote this, that in 2020, when the whole world turned topsy-turvy, memes were often our only way to laugh at ourselves.
Yeah.
So essentially, memes are linked to how much stress we are feeling, how anxious we are. So, what do you guys feel about that? That do you really just express your anxiety through a meme?
I think with memes, it's like somebody else describing funny things about you to you, and then you are the one that's laughing at them. So like they are really probably the best stress busters that you can have at a time. So I think the best part about memes for me was in middle of classes, like after 40 minutes class, when you had that 15-minute break in the middle, just 15 minutes scrolling through Instagram, looking at memes, and you were like fresher than ever to attend your next class. Like it just refreshes your mind absolutely and gets you 100% focused again.
Yeah. So just sort of makes light of the situation and I don't know, adds is a stress buster, of course. Kyle, what do you think? Was 2020 a watershed moment for meme culture?
I think it was. See, the thing is, bad things happen all the time. Bad things would continue to happen. If it wouldn't be COVID, it would be the economy. If it wasn't the economy, it would be something else. So memes would be made irrelevant of any other, anything. The thing that we were all in a catastrophe together, it just made it so funny because we all are the same thing. We all are locked in the house. We all are, don't know what to do with our lives. We all are just sitting at home. What do you do? Watch Netflix? How many movies can you watch? Learn how to cook. You have to clean the house. It's funny, right? Because now when you're in the lockdown, your mom used to ask you to do the dishes. I don't know if your mom asked you to do the dishes, because if she didn't ask you to do the dishes, you are very privileged. But they ask you to do the dishes, and it's not that just your mom asks you to do the dishes. Everybody's mom asks their kids to do their dishes, right? And everybody found that funny. It's about it's all about being on the same boat together. And I think definitely I would say there was a lot more memes during the 2020, because so many other bad things happened collectively to all of us. So definitely in that sense there were a lot more memes. But as in how the world is continuing and how people live their lives, we'll see a lot more memes, because 2020 was just the beginning of shit hitting the ceiling.
Yeah. In the recent, in the last couple of weeks, what have been some of your favorite memes? I have to say mine is mine would be the memes that came from the Suez Canal episode. I was just so amused by that. That in 2021, a ship actually blocked, a whole path. What have been some of your favorite memes?
I think you hit the nail on the head. That thing was absolutely funny. The fact that one tiny ship was crumbling economies, and was crumbling how export import happens, and to understand that Europe is so dependent on that small strip of land to
Yeah.
carry out their businesses. That was crazy, and I think that was I think I would go with the same.
I think my favorite memes have been the recent ones on the IPL. The like every year you have the same memes on RCB, but like every year you find them funny.
Yeah.
Every year, every year, they have some new ad. Every year, it clicks with your brain like this is really funny. So the Rahul Dravid ad they have for cred this time, just somehow it's funny, but it's very basic, still very funny. So
Timeless
those
stuff.
two have been, yeah, those have been my favorite.
Huh. I actually really liked the Meghan Markle and Oprah memes as well, and people gave a Punjabi spin to it. So I was just like beyond amused.
Yeah, that Meghan Markle incident, it was. I think that entire incident was so. It was so memorable. That entire incident was so memorable because, who would expect, them to say the things that they said, to talk about the royal family at the way they did, and the fact that Prince Philip, may his soul rest in peace, passed away 3 days back. You know,
No, I have to actually, I'm just covering my face because the Prince Philip memes also like really got me. One of my favorite ones was that the royal family is worried about, Meghan and Harry's baby when Prince Philip is actually purple. I mean, I was just, every time I think of it, I just like start laughing. Um, my next question, actually, Kyle, is for you about meme chat and where the idea for meme chat came from.
oh, so I was I was one of the few people who, like, was into maths, into computers, into coding, uh, into computer science very strongly, and I was also into memes.
Right.
So because I had those two things, I said, all right, you know what? Let me just code something cool. Probably I can, get a lot of downloads because I have these pages. Made the app, got the downloads, got the growth. So, that's how I built Meme Chat. But the initial idea for Meme Chat was essentially when we started this first company of mine called Subscribe. So I've had a turbulent school life, huh? Let me tell you that. My first company I built when I was 15 years old, which was an anonymous social networking platform. Then, in order to grow that platform, I created this meme because marketing is very expensive. For any company, marketing is very expensive. So how do you grow a company, right? You need to do Facebook and Google Ads. That's what we thought. Until there was this page. I don't know if you heard of this page called Bakchod Billi. They helped promote me subscribe that old company via memes, and we realized, shit, so many downloads coming, wow, as we can do this all the time. uh, we did that, and we decided then, okay, let's make our own meme page so we can promote our own company. And that is when that was 2015. Sorry, 2013 I started my company. That was 2015 when I started the page. And then I realized, all right, memes have this supreme amounts of power to make things viral. And that's when we went into memes and studying, the entire. And now, to be honest, it's crazy to think about. It's, people would say this is just a simple, a funny image or relatable image, but we are conducting massive amounts of research on the kinds of just that image and the ergonomics of it, the geometry, everything to its detail. We are thinking of, all right, this much of white spacing, this much of text, this much of text to image ratio, this, that, language models around memes. And I don't know, sometimes I find I'm crazy, doing so much of maths for something that is as simple and as silly as a meme. But doing something as crazy, doing this kind of maths and doing this kind of technologies for something that's as silly as memes. And but I think only time will tell, how much this pulls off.
From Kyle, from what you're saying, actually, you're making memes and making memes sound like a science. Is that the case?
If I had to talk about the technologies that we are building and to showcase the things that we are building, it's going to be really crazy. Because from takeaway from so secret Aman, I all into computer science.
Well, little.
I dropped it.
Ah,
I chose economics instead of computers.
all right, no problem. But it definitely is. It's very easy to think about. The thing is, but what we are trying to do essentially is automate the process, and that automation of process, that is where a lot more science is required, because giving the ability for a machine to make a meme, that is something that takes time to build. I think that is why it sounds like a science. Probably it is not, but the entire process of that definitely is. But definitely I can say the font size, the font color, the text color, the image to the text ratio, everything is a big factor for your things to go viral.
We started off this conversation by talking about relatability and how that is really the core of meme culture. But if meme culture is about relatability, then does it make us also more empathetic people? Do we understand each other better because of memes? Are we able to like connect with each other better because of memes? Do you guys feel that way?
I think for sure, in terms of people talking about things that they never talked about in the past, it definitely opens up things over there. People are talking about things that they would never speak about in the past, and because through memes. But it can go both ways, right? In the sense that if there is something that is really, it can, I believe, and I believe this strongly, 10 years down the line, memes will have the power to topple regimes, because they will give out this feeling of unanimity. And if people are noticing the unanimity that comes because of the viral effect of the feeling that it is passing along, and that feeling rises, and once a feeling rises of either detest, or a feeling rises of happiness or love, it can go both ways, right? Either you're very happy, or you can become proactive to topple a regime. It can work both ways. So it really depends on people's scenario. Yeah. And
What do you think?
if
Shrikant?
regimes have to be toppled, it might just be a good thing.
Yeah.
I think yes, memes like they give you the sense of unanimity, because like a simple like on a meme tells you that okay, I am not the only one that's relating to it, even my friend is relating to it. So it gives you, it bonds, it's a way of bonding together. So I definitely think they have a big effect on everybody around. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Those were actually all of my questions for you guys. If you have any questions for each other, like now is the time.
Memes are very good pickup lines, Shrikrit.
My
Okay,
friend
I
told
think
me
yeah,
the same
that's
thing.
I never thought of that.
I thought I just put it out there for everybody to listen to, and I think
Yeah,
Shrikrit and Arman know this as well.
Yes.
yeah. So Kyle, this is your public service
Yeah,
announcement
yeah,
for everyone who tunes
yeah.
in.
So that
Yeah.
is good.
Yeah. Like this has been such an interesting conversation. And I think I just want to like close off by just reminding everyone what Shrikrit said earlier, that memes are a shared language, and we no longer need to text people, to stay in touch, and just sending a meme is sort of a way of saying, hey, I'm thinking about you, and hey, I found this funny and I thought of you. And I think that's really lovely. Kyle, you have made certain projections about like where memes will take us in the social and the political sphere, and I think it will be interesting to see that play out as well. But thank you so much. This has been really a lovely conversation. I think if there is a defining feature of Gen Z, it is memes and it is meme culture. Yeah, thank you so much, guys.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Taker. Thank you so much, Arman. Thank you so much, Sivika. It was great talking to you guys. And all the best, man. I think, are you, Taker, did you just going to 12th or are you passing out now?
No, I just went to 12.
Oh, crazy. Shit, man. You've been in lockdown for the next year. Probably your boards will also be postponed. So you will find the last year's memes also funny.